So, good morning, children. Yesterday we have started the lesson with the introduction about the situation in India during the freedom movement. What happened when the Britishers came? How was the situation in India? How were the people? Why Britishers were able to rule our country? It is only because of no unity among the people, ignorance, lack of education, and following of superstitions. I gave so many examples about superstitions. How were they in practice? So, these were the hindrance, a great difficulty in the way of nationalism. Though the revolt of 1857 resulted in the feeling of nationalism among the Indians, feeling of oneness, feeling for the country. What is a nation? Nation is a country with people speaking common language, following common religion, belonging to the common race, etc. But in India, it is quite different. Our country is famous for unity in diversity. Now we have got that slogan. What diversity we have? Diversity means differences. Lot of differences in culture, tradition, food habits, dressing, weather we find in our country in every nook and corner. That's why it is not the same everywhere. Every state of India has its own language, has its own food culture, festivals, celebration of festivals, everything. But so that it is a country of multi races. Our country is called multiracial, multilingual, and multi religious. So many religions are there, so many races are there, so many communities are there, and so many languages are spoken in our country. Understand, out of them some 220 languages I think are recognized by the government officially, but more than 10 times more than them we speak in our country. Okay. Well, so that's why. And what, because of practicing superstitions in our country and no proper guidance, no proper mixing of all the people, meeting all the people, our country was lacking in unity. That's why some educated Indians came forward to first improve our society, then we can fight with the British. If we improve the situations in our prevailing in our society, then people can understand what is right and what is wrong. Then they could understand how Britishers were badly treating our people. That's how they could be able to face the difficulties and fight the British. So such people are called social reformers. Such people are called social reformers. Our lesson is freedom struggle. Okay, yesterday I told you how people struggled to get freedom for our country. Is this lesson? Understand? So, the people who are feeling about our country, they thought that unless we improve our own society, we cannot fight the British. Because once all the people come together, they can stand against the British and fight for the freedom of the country. With that strong belief, they came forward to improve the society, to reform the society. Reform, form means make. Reform means again shape it. So these are called reformers or social reformers we call them. They are called social reformers. Who are social reformers? The people who bring changes in the prevailing practices in the society. The people who can bring changes in the society by removing or abolishing bad practices in the society. So these are called, such people are called social reformers. Who are those people? Raja Ram Mohan Rai. I need not write the names. You have in textbook. Raja Ram Mohan Roy from West Bengal, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Sayyid Ahmad Khan, Madapati Hanmanta Rao, understand? And Keshav Chandra Sen, like that, so many people. They tried to remove so many ill practices, bad practices from the society. For example, who? Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He was a highly educated man from India. He did his barrister, means law course from Oxford University in England. Okay, and when he came back, the condition in India was very miserable with the people. British were ill-treating the people. People were following all old practices and all. So he thought that we should bring change in the society. What he studied? He studied that in India, after coming India, what he observed? Studied means observed, not studying a book. He observed that people in India are following a very, very, very bad practice of sati system. I explained to you yesterday what was sati system. According to sati system, there was lot of difference between husband and wife's age. Husband used to be old and the wife used to be young. So that time what happened? So husband would die when the wife is of young age. So what people did? So wife also has to die along with her husband's dead body, entering the fire of the chitta. That is called sati system. What do? They make that girl like a bride first time how she is on marriage day. And then she has to be made to sit on the chitta, and dead body used to be put on her lap, and then they set the fire to the chitta. Chitta means the logs arrangement on which the dead body is kept for burning. So it is very horrible. Understand? So this was not liked by him. He faced lot of problems, and he what did he do? He was successful at last in abolishing this sati system. But people troubled him so much, and at last in the year 1833, I think, he went to England and he died there because he was unable to resist with these people in India. But somehow he was able to remove this sati system from the society. And one more is prohibition of widow remarriage. If a man's wife dies, he can marry any number of wives. But the wife, if her husband dies, she does not have any right to marry again. Though she is young, she has to live a very horrible life. Understand? Without bangles, without bindi, without colorful clothes, and not even that, her hair would be removed. She would be made gundu, and she should not eat proper tasty food also. Like sannyasi life she has to live. This was also not liked by him. So he tried to remove that also. And Swami Dayananda Saraswati, what did he do? He struggled for girls' education. If a girl is educated, whole family is educated, he says. Understand? So girls, to improve the conditions in the society, a woman in the society should be also educated. So with that thought, he tried to introduce girls' education in our country. Then Sayyid Ahmad Khan, Parda system. Muslims have this burqa system, no? He worked to remove this system from the Muslim community. And Madapati Hanmantarao Garu, he also worked for removing Devadasi system from Andhra Pradesh. And overall, what they thought, all Indians are speaking different languages, but they have to come together and express their views, means they should have a common language. For that purpose, they thought English should be introduced in education system in India, because they thought that English is a common language, So through this common language we can interact with each other, express each other's opinions so that we can fight the British better way. So these are the contributions of the social reformers. So as it is truly said, because of the social reforms in our country, caste system, sati system, child marriage, all these things were removed. India was divided into four caste groups: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Shudras were the least category. They were not allowed anywhere. But these people thought we all are equal, all should have the equal right and all should be educated. Then only we can improve the conditions of our society. Because of their great efforts, our country was able to remove such bad practices from the society. Understand? And they started forming their associations, institutions. They also felt that they should have their own political party also, so that they can have a word in the government. Understand? They wanted to have their own representatives in the government system, so that because British, they were foreigners, they did not know anything about our country. What really we face is different thing. What they impose on us is different thing. What they follow in their country, they were imposing on us forcefully. But what we need, they never thought about it. That's why these people thought we should have our own, our own organization. So, what did they do? In the year 1885, in the month of December, they formed our own organization, political organization. I can say the first political organization of our country, which is called the Indian National Congress. The Indian National Congress. It was a political organization set up in the year 1885 in our country, in the month of December. Okay? Why? They thought that it is very important that we should have our own representatives. We should have our own political party. With that view, they formed a new and the first political party of our country, which is called Indian National Congress, or in short we call it INC. Understand? In the year 1885, who they formed it with the help of a retired British officer called A.O. Hume. So he was the founder of INC in India. Understand? A.O. Hume was responsible for the formation of Indian National Congress in our country. This is the first political party of our country. Who founded it? A.O. Hume. Understand? And first session of INC was held at Mumbai in the month of December, 27th December to 31st December, I think. Understand? 27th December, for 1 week almost. It was held first session of INC. INC means Indian National Congress. It was held at Mumbai. Understand? It was held at Mumbai. First session of INC was held at Mumbai in the month of December. And you know, many delegates attended this session. Session means meeting, children. Session means meeting. Nearly 27 members. In the beginning only 27 members or delegates. Delegates means members attended the meeting. Okay. First session was held at Mumbai. 27 members attended and W.C. Banerjee was made its first president. W.C. Banerjee was the first president of INC. Understand? W.C. Banerjee was the first president of the INC. We are going to make a flow chart about it. You don't know about flow chart? I will teach you. W.C. Banerjee was the first president of the Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress was formed in the year 1885. And who was the founder? A.O. Hume was the founder of the Indian National Congress. And its first session was held at Mumbai. And how many people? 27 members attended the meeting. And W.C. Banerjee, his full name was Umesh Chandra Banerjee, was the first president of the INC. Understand why they formed it? They formed it to have their opinions in the British legislature, in the British government. And who among the important members of this Indian National Congress means they were most important leaders of the Congress in early days were Dadabhai Naoroji, S.N. Banerjee, G. Subramanya Iyer, Gopalakrishna Gokhale and Badruddin Tayyabji. Their main goal was Swaraj or self-rule. Why they formed it? To fight for the freedom of our country. How can they fight? They were moderate. They did not go to fight with weapons and all. Only they wanted to put their opinions before the British. They wanted to explain the problems of our country to the British so that they can do something good for India. They believed it, but it was not the correct thing. They did not do anything for our country. Understand? So, remaining things we will learn tomorrow. Okay, children? Thank you.